Casa Arena. We are live from the Casa Arena here in Barcelona, Spain, just a few feet away from the Palau Sant Jordi, where the FINA Swimming World Championships are taking place. Joining me today is Giuseppe Musciacchio. He is the General Manager of Brand Development for Arena. Giuseppe, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Jeff. Hello, everybody.
So, Giuseppe, give us an idea of what you do. I know you wear a lot of hats, but kind of tell us what your day-to-day responsibilities are at Arena.
Yeah, actually, I'm working with a team of people following really the product development first. So all our design activities, research and development activities, up to the final product which we put on the market. And then I'm also responsible for the marketing activities of the group, internationally speaking. So this is consumer marketing, offline and online, and sports marketing. So all the investments that Arena is placing on the world of sports, which are, let's say, quite big if you compare them with the size of the company, are, let's say, in a way under my umbrella.
Well, that's got to be a really big umbrella to be doing everything under. Arena has really grown around the world in the past few years, and you've been there 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably seen that, haven't you?
Oh, yes. I have to say that this is a company that is coming from a long way, and you know that we are celebrating this year the 40th anniversary of Arena, and Arena has been created to be really the international hub for swimming. Then, like all companies, also this company had ups and downs. I have to say that in the last 10 years, this company has been constantly growing, and in particular on what we call the international markets, which is all our business outside Europe. So this has been historically a company very well grounded in Europe, very strong in Europe. Today we are in front of an expansion in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, which is, let's say, far beyond whatever we did in the past.
And it really has seemed like a lot of the elite athletes that you're signing have really been coming out from outside of Europe of late. When did that really start to expand outside of Europe and really bring the brand to be a global name?
Well, I have to say that we had a lot of sliding doors in our history. If I had to just tell you about one, 2008 has been really a turning point for our history. It has been the year of the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, where we really could see that, in a way, we were not, let's say, competitive enough out of Europe in terms of how many people were wearing our products, in how many countries we could really see, let's say, Arena as a reference brand for swimming. So after starting with 2008, we really started investing quite intensively, in countries that were a bit out of the scope of our business at the time. And in less than 5 years, now let's say we are really harvesting the results, I have to say.
Do you find that it's a challenge to market in countries outside of Europe, because there is obviously a very different way that people outside of Europe view products?
It is all about cultural differences. I have to say, probably today the world is much more a global place than 10 years ago. So everything is becoming easier from that perspective. But it's still true that if you take a Southern European market, a Northern European market, and, for example, a USA, there's still significantly different in terms of the products that you need to be competitive. So I think that for us it's a good exercise also of opening up our mind and trying to be less European than we were used to. And today I think this is happening also because, let's say, in our team we have more and more international people. We have a very strong team today in the US, based in Portland, Oregon, and they are really doing a lot of great things to make our business grow.
And you have signed a lot of international athletes. Just recently, James Magnuson.
Yeah.
You have Rebecca Soni on your in your stable there of athletes. was obviously that was probably one of the big marketing plans. Was there any kind of challenges in trying to get the athletes outside of Europe to buy into the Arena brand?
I think this is part of the DNA of this brand. The guy who established Arena back in 1973 is recognized by many people as really the inventor of the modern idea of sports marketing, Mr. Horst Dassler. Arena has always been working with athletes since the day one. So we're just keeping this in touch with times, and it's a vicious circle in this case. Let's say we are leveraging the athletes to make our products more visible to the world, but at the same time we are using our products to recruit new athletes because in the last few years, for example, with the success of our Power Skin range and in particular of the Carbon Pro, it has been much easier for us to really to access a market where traditionally our brand was not the number one, let's put it this way, not to mention any other brand. Australia is one of those. So today for us is much easier to get in touch with people, to talk, and to, in a way, convince them that we can be a good partner to work with.
The tech suit era of 2008, 2009, it seemed like, as you said, Arena was really starting to become a name that people would recognize. You know, your suits were on a lot of the swimmers who were setting world records. And then after that, it seemed like Arena was still putting itself out there as the suit era changed from the tech suits now back to textile suits. In terms of trying to keep your brand out there, was it kind of a happy accident that Arena was becoming very popular in that tech suit era? Was it a planned thing of, you know, now you have this, you feel like you have an opportunity?
Again, this was part of the strategy. Then you can't really control all the elements at stake. Of course, tech suits for a company like us, investing so much in sports marketing, are the first way to advertise the brand. So whenever we have somebody winning a race, raising a medal with the Arena logo on the breast or on the jammers for the men, which is a bit less easy for television. This is advertising, of course. And we have been investing in this market since 2000. So it is 13 years ago was the year of the Olympic Games in Sydney, if I'm not wrong, where we had the first Arena full body suit, let's say tech suit. We have been constantly investing in this, putting money on it, trying to use the tech suits as really let's say the door opener for our brand in many markets. Then sometimes you do it right, sometimes you get somebody who's doing better than yourself. You know, in 2008, you know, Speedo made it big, enormous. And we were, let's say, we were kind of coming to terms with the idea that we had something to catch up. And we did it. So in 2012, probably our brand got a high visibility because of the Carbon Pro, the history of the colors. It's competition. Yeah. It's a funny game, I have to say, and we're happy to play it.
Well, I think a lot of people, in terms of the game that you're playing, I think a lot of people really thought that the move that you made of really making the colors of your Carbon Pro were really a big move. And I think I can tell you from my perspective in the United States, every girl in the United States wanted to wear the Pink Power Carbon Pro because they were seeing Rebecca Stoney break records and do that. So I don't know if that was kind of any perspective that you were getting back, but you know, it just seemed really interesting to me that, you know, it wasn't necessarily, you know, in the past people weren't saying, oh, because this athlete was wearing this suit, I'm going to wear that suit too. But it just really seemed to change that, you know, one swimmer was wearing this particular suit, and they were equating to that's the kind of suit that I need to wear, and that's the brand that I want to attach myself.
That was huge for us. Sometimes these kind of things show you that size doesn't matter, because in London there were two brands that played with colors. One was Nike with the shoes, and one was Arena with the suits. So we're talking about completely different companies. That was an intuition. Sometimes you don't have any market study, you don't have any quantitative methodology that would tell you you're right. So that was somebody thinking that it was a time to give the swimmers something more exciting than just a black or a gray suit. And honestly speaking, we were not aware of how big this would have been. Let me tell you something. When you realize you have established a trend, this means something. And if you look around here in Barcelona, now in the pool, you see colors everywhere. Right. And it was not like that last year. So we're happy about it. Now the colors is the past. Now we need to look for the next thing.
And speaking of the next thing, are you guys? I guess in marketing, you probably always are thinking of what's the next thing to do, because you can't just sit there and enjoy the moment, because there's always, the future of marketing.
Sure. We do have plans in this product category, of course, like in all the others, at least for the next 24 months. There's always something in the pipeline because, as I told you, it's a complex market in which there are some great brands. It's not only Speedo and Arena, there's many other brands trying to get their market share. And we know there's no position that cannot be attacked. So in a way, our pipeline is always full. We believe that we are in a position now where we can leverage the Power Skin Carbon Pro concept for a little longer. Honestly speaking, it doesn't really make sense to launch a new product every year, right, industrially speaking. And we believe that there's still space out there to make this concept stronger and more appreciated by consumers.
Do you think there's a ceiling of what you could do in terms of designing a suit and developing a suit, given now that FINA has put restrictions on what can be constituted as a swimsuit?
The new FINA rules have made it much more difficult, not impossible. I think that we were at a point in 2008 in which, thanks to the absolute freedom we had to use any kind of material, the possibilities to access kind of better performing products was quite open to everybody. And we have seen this, let's say, newcomers coming in the market with great products, because it was easy, it was just about a new kind of plastic to be used, no matter what was the impact on the performance, on the let's say, in a way, the sports side of the story. So it was not just about the swimmer anymore, it was about suits all the time. We believe that today, with the new rules, we are back to a moment in which it's extremely difficult to bring innovation to the table. And there are a few brands that can do it. We believe we are part of this group of brands because we know how to do it. We've been learning a lot, even in the years of the plastic suits, honestly speaking. Has been very much telling for us in terms of what the suit can do. We are happy that FINA is trying to set an environment in which the suit is not more important than the swimmer. So we fully subscribe this. But we believe that nevertheless we can make a difference in terms of wearing sensation, fit, let's say all the small things that a champion or an amateur needs just to feel comfortable while competing.
And I mean, you obviously can't argue with results. I believe 6 Olympic gold medalists in 2012. I mean, that's got to be, I guess part of the pun, gold for you guys in terms of marketing and saying, look what our suit can do. I know as FINA is saying, as you were saying, it's not just the suit, but I mean, that just has to make it easy for your line of work.
Sure. But in the end, for us, it's always look at what athletes can do. Mm-hmm. And if they choose us, it's because probably they believe we are the best. This is the right way to look at it. We cannot turn an average swimmer into an Olympic gold medalist. That's not what we want to do. But of course, we are happy. And I'm a marketing guy. I will not tell you I'm not the happiest man in the world when I can advertise 20% of the total medals in London were won by people wearing our products. That's been huge. But again, this is the past. Now in Rio, we look forward to do better than that.
100% maybe.
No, otherwise, we will not have any competitor to beat. Then.
Yeah. I guess you'll have a job.
Yeah.
Well, Giuseppe, I'm glad you're able to join us today. It's great insight into what's going on with the arena, and we can all see that you guys are doing great things.
Thank you.
We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
All right, so that's going to do it for us here live at Casa Arena here in Barcelona. Again, thanks to Giuseppe and thanks to our friends here at Arena for providing the space and providing the opportunity. And we'll see you back here next time.